Howdy, I'm the Schleich Moros in SpinoDude. Wouldn't it be funny if I broke both your legs? My doctor said I'm not supposed to have sodium.
Here we have a perfectly reasonable, speculative construction of a fragmentary tyrannosaurid theropod. And here we have the monument to all the sins of humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are having a look at the Schleich Moros intrepidus. Oh boy. Judging by the microphone quality and the volume of my voice, you're probably guessing that I am in my room underneath the microphone. Haha! I got you. I wasn't in frame for that, but I just came in from outside my room. I have a wireless microphone now, guys. Thank you, Chris. Anyways, onto this thing now. Oh my gosh. Now, here's the thing. Schleich has been bad for a while now, okay? Schleich has been... they're kind of the meme in the dinosaur community for just being like, oh boy, what Schleich's gonna make next or whatever. But they're always kind of just boringly bad. Like they just make like saggy brontosauruses and wiggly mosasaurs and stuff typically. Or if they make anything else that's like either somewhat decent or actually okay, it's ripped off of something like Dinosaur King or Jurassic World or whatever. What happened to the sculptor of that Psittacosaurus that was retired after like only a year of it being for sale? Okay. Anyways, this thing was just a new kind of special to me, and I found it very ironic and funny, which we'll get into in just a minute. But oh my gosh, first of all, let's get the compliments out of the way for this figure, because there's few of them. The feathers are sculpted okay for Schleich, and the paint on the feathers is passable for Schleich. That's it. The rest of the detail on this figure, on the scales on the legs, hands, and face, looks like a dried salt plane or something. It does not look like natural dinosaur skin in the slightest. And the face, oh my goodness, the face on this thing. First of all, just looking at it, the eye is like really far down the snout for some reason. The head is shaped like a shoe. I don't know how else to put it. It looks like it's shaped like a shoe. And the interior of the mouth is equipped with a wonderful row of human teeth, basically. All very square in shape and very monotone in size. There's no variation in them whatsoever. It's so cursed, I hate it. And also just the shape of the head. If you look at where the articulated jaw, which feels very poor in quality, by the way, if you look at where that connects to the back of the head as you open and close the jaw, it just looks wrong. I don't know what it is about it, it's just bad. Then of course the hands on the arms are pronated, but let's be honest, that's the least of our worries here. And I haven't even gotten into the most egregious part, which is honestly the reason why I got this figure, because I found it so amusing. But for those of you who don't know, Moros intrepidus, or as its name translates to, the Harbinger of Doom. Yes, let's name fragmentary animals the coolest things ever. Dynamoptera Theratothoristes, and Moros intrepidus. Thanos! But anyways, for those of you who don't know, Moros intrepidus is known from, I believe, like a leg. For its the material it was described on. And what's so ironic about this figure to me is that easily the worst part of it are the legs. Like the rest of it is bad, but I'm like, you had one job. You're making a fragmentary animal where you just have like the legs and you can't get them down proportionally or anything. I mean, look at this. It's clear to me that they were trying to pose this thing in like a cool running pose up top, and then as they got down to the bottom with the legs, they're like, oh no, this thing isn't gonna balance. Let's try bigger feet, and the bigger feet didn't work, so they're like, all right, let's just contort and break its legs until it actually is able to stand. It's so bad. While this back foot is really bad on its own, it's really this front foot for me that's just like, it's so gross, I hate it. Oh man, I don't know what else to say about this thing. It's just, it's something. And also another thing too is like, I look at those other Schleich figures that have come out in recent years, like, you know, the saggy Brontosaurus and the bright teal and white Mosasaurus that's very wiggly and disproportionate and looks goofy, but I'm like, okay, it looks like a bath toy for kids, or they look like, you know, like toys for kids, and if that's what they're going for, fine. I don't like that they're putting like the educational stuff in with the figures and trying to, you know, be like, oh, this is what the dinosaur looked like and stuff, but for a toy for kids, it's okay, you know? Schleich figures are easy to come by. They're in like Tractor Supply stores and some grocery stores near me and stuff. I see them all the time. But I do see from that perspective when I look at those toys and I'm just like, yeah, you know, if it's for a kid or whatever and this helps them get into dinosaurs, fine. But this I look at and I'm just thinking, I'm like, who would want this? What kid would want this? What designer looked at this and was like, that looks right, that looks good? Especially with all of like the really good modern wildlife figures that Schleich comes out with regularly. This thing is just absolutely disgusting. One thing I will say though is this thing truly does live up to its name as Harbinger of Doom. But then we compare it to our fairly recently reviewed Beasts of the Mesozoic Moros Intrepidus, which, as you know, this is a very speculative reconstruction based off of its other close relatives and such, but it's proportionate, it's reasonable, and it just looks, it looks so darn nice. And then you compare it to this thing. It's like, what the heck? How are these the same dinosaur, man? Of course, you're in two different leagues where like, this is more so armed at kids and this is more for adult collectors here, but still, Schleich, you could produce good-looking dinosaurs and still sell to kids. I mean, look at Safari Ltd. Still to this day, they're producing really good-looking dinosaurs that are being marketed primarily towards children. And this just doesn't cut it. This just comes across as lazy, rushed, and we made a generic dinosaur-looking thing, so let's slap a name on it or something. But now, here's a question for both of you guys, because I saw people commenting on my recent review of the Papo Concavenator. Which one do you think is worst? Which one deserves the crown for worst dinosaur figure of all time? Personally, and here's the thing, I saw some comments on that video arguing about this not being the worst dinosaur figure of all time. If you guys have ones that you subjectively like less than it, that's fine. I was thinking more from the objective standpoint. Just for the choice alone, not only is just the quality of the detail and the paint on everything on this one so bad, and the pricing for this one so bad. This one's double the price of this, by the way. And this one has better paint and better detail, in my opinion. But anyway, like leaving the financial stuff out of it, just the choice of exposing the rib cage and making this thing a literal living zombie and then selling this to kids and stuff just really seals the deal that not only quality production-wise, but just presentation-wise, it has the craziest design decision I've ever seen on a dinosaur figure on an already very inaccurate concavenator. That's another thing too. You can be creative with this because this is a very fragmentary genus, as you know. Concavenator, we have like a full skeleton of. The holotype is a beautiful fossil. We even have like preserved quill knobs and everything on it, which they did put quills on the forearms and stuff, but whatever. So I saw people sort of pitting these against each other, and that's why I still think this one is far worse objectively. But this one I will agree with is worse from like an entertainment standpoint because I'm sort of proud to have this and display this. I don't think we'll ever get something this crazy and weird from a major dinosaur company ever again. Well, I mean, maybe from Papo themselves, we'll see. But while this is really goofy and everything, this is more so along the lines of like what I'd expect from just a failure of a dinosaur figure. And it's really bad, but I still think this is the worst one that I've experienced personally. Anyway, that's all I have to say on this absolutely egregious little dinosaur. I'm not gonna bother measuring it or anything. Bleh, patooey. But thank you to my channel members, as always, for your undying support on my videos, especially Trashbug and Raphael Tree Kangaroo for being SpinoChat members. If you want to become a member, click the big join button down below, and I will catch you guys in my next review. So take care, and bye-bye.